So I've been meaning to do a video on this for ages. So in the A Song of Ice and Fire books, Sansa Stark does not marry Ramsay Bolton. She does not go through that ordeal. In fact, Sansa is still in the Vale. She's in hiding. Littlefinger has plans to marry her to a guy called Sir Harold Harding. But Ramsay Bolton is married to somebody, and that person goes through hell at his hands. The girl in question is actually Sansa Stark's childhood bestie, a girl named Jane Poole, whose father was one of Ned Stark's bannermen, and he was killed in King's Landing. So when Ned Stark died, she and Sansa kind of comforted one another. I mean, they were already close friends, but now they'd both lost their fathers, and they kind of leaned on one another to get through. But then Jane vanishes, disappears. Sansa has no idea where she is, if she's even alive. Then Jane re-emerges, but she's not going by the name Jane Poole. She's saying, I'm actually Arya Stark of Winterfell. She does look a bit like Arya, like she has the brown hair, but she's a little older than Arya, so there's something a bit off. Jaime Lannister is like, I don't think that's Arya Stark, but he doesn't make a point of it. Like, he doesn't say anything. And then when he speaks to Brienne and tasks her with finding the Stark girls, he says, you know, there is this person, they're saying it's Arya Stark, she's going to marry into the Boltons, but that's not the real her, she's a faker. Theon Greyjoy as well, he's like, that's not Arya. I would know. And he doesn't say anything either. He doesn't want to provoke Ramsay's rage. So this whole thing is a scam, right? Like, it's not the real Arya. And Jane is led like a lamb to the slaughter. She has no say in any of this. We're not even sure if her mother's alive. Pretty much she's on her own, and she's at the mercy of whoever is holding her captive. Because from King's Landing right back up to Winterfell, she's in the hands of people who are just going to use her, and she's being used as a pawn in the game of Thrones, if you will. And she can't say no, she can't reject Ramsay, she has to just endure it. So all of the horrible things you saw Sansa go through at Ramsay's hands, that's actually what Jane goes through. And then eventually she and Theon do escape from Winterfell. Like, they jump from like the top of the battlements and they wind up with Stannis Baratheon's encampment. Jane has to keep up the ruse that she's Arya Stark because she's petrified. Like, what can she say? If she reveals her true identity, they might just think she's not worth the bother and she might be cast out or she might be killed. Who knows? Up at the wall, Jon Snow receives the infamous pink letter from allegedly Ramsay Bolton saying, "You've got my wife, give her back." And in one of the published excerpts from Winds of Winter, it's a Theon Greyjoy chapter, and they are grilling Jane, asking her, you know, all of these questions to prove she's Arya, and Jane's trying to get the answers right because she's petrified. She doesn't want to say, yeah, I'm not really Arya. She's worried about what will happen to her. It's a really tragic story. Like, Jane Poole goes through it. The decision is made, we'll send this girl to Jon Snow at the Wall. That's our brother, he'll be able to tell if this is the real person. But this is all happening around the time that Jon Snow is betrayed by his brothers in the Night's Watch and left for dead. And as it stands in the books, Jon's not been brought back yet. So Jane Poole, whatever is in her future, I mean, it's not going to be smooth sailing, put it that way. That's basically the story that inspired what we saw on the TV show for the character of Sansa. Sansa in the Vale, she's not, well, she probably has met Ramsay, you know, here and there, but she doesn't have this history with Ramsay. It's Jane Poole / fake Arya who actually goes through it. But yeah, this girl, she's pretty much alone in this world, and she's having to just survive by any means necessary because there's nothing in place. There's nobody helping her out, nobody there that she can rely on. She's fighting this battle all on her own, so she's doing whatever she can just to survive. But in a story where a lot of people do die, at least Jane Poole is alive and she's gotten away from Ramsay.